Imani, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. So, what kind of plans do you have? I mean, it's 2 days before Christmas,
Mm.
and what are you doing?
Honestly, I have no major plans. My family's not getting together like we normally do this year, so it's just gonna be very small. Just me, my mom, and my brothers. So yeah,
Cool. Well,
nothing
that's
too
still
big.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I went out last night after work to run to the store, and the roads are just as busy as ever with people like running to Target and trying to get their last minute shopping in. I was very surprised to see that. Uh, somehow our society is functioning, it looks like, in spite of the fact that we've got
Right.
so many restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we brought you in here today because you were recently honored with our Excellence Award, our annual Excellence Award. Every year we honor and recognize one person in the office that has really shown an incredible amount of work and dedication to the firm and excellent work. And we're going to talk about today. We
Hmm.
call it the Don Moon Award, and I'll explain who Don Moon was and everything. But before we do that, I just wanted to recognize the fact that when I brought you into the firm, I got a twofer because your mother's right down the hall,
Yeah.
and and it's always fun. Your mom and you are so cute together. You almost look like sisters. Um, I'm sure that she's going to be happy to hear that. But it's always fun to see her down there and stuff. And it's like
Hmm.
having family nearby.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, how many years have you been with us now?
So I have been here at the firm for 6 or almost 6 years.
Okay.
This coming year, yeah.
Okay. So the first time I ever knew of you was when you were going to Maranatha High School. You danced on my daughter's dance team. And I remember
Yes.
there were two outstanding dancers on the team. It was you and my daughter, in my opinion. But I
Oh,
remember sitting
thank
in the
you.
in the bleachers and going, "Wow, man, Imani looks awesome and Selena looks awesome." And it was really fun watching you. And
Hmm.
you graduated high school and then took your dancing to another level. Can
Yes,
we
I
talk about
did.
it?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Okay. So I'm very proud to say that the Schweitzer Law Partners firm has had and has do you call yourself a cheerleader?
Yeah,
Okay, a
yeah,
cheerleader, but you guys really aren't cheerleaders for the Los Angeles Chargers,
yes.
and you've done that 2 years.
Hmm.
Okay. And, I just beam whenever I tell people that because I think that's a really difficult thing to get into. You
Oh,
talk about so
yes.
many people that try. What made you want to do that?
Yeah, so for years, I have always been interested in going into the professional realm as far as dancing. So I thought a good start would to get more comfortable with just the entertainment in general would be just going on random auditions. So I actually auditioned for a couple different teams. So the first team I ever tried out for was the Los Angeles Lakers. And that first year, I made it as like right before a finalist round. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna come back next year. So I tried again, and I made it as a finalist. But unfortunately, I didn't make the team that year. But that definitely didn't stop me from wanting to continue to pursue a career in dance, and just having that create an avenue for me as a career. So yeah, one day I was just like, I'm gonna try out for every single team that I can think of. So the minute that the auditions were starting out here in LA, I immediately started auditioning for teams. So the first team I did was the Rams, and then next up was the Chargers, and I ended up making the team, which was extremely unexpected, but definitely really great experience, especially for our first time.
I wonder if the folks back in Maranatha know that one of their former students has made it to the big time, especially the dance team over there,
Mhm.
because Maranatha has had a pretty decent dance team, but it's a small school,
Right.
and it's almost like that boy that made it to the major leagues, in baseball a few years ago. I
Mhm.
forget his name, Cody or something. But he was a pitcher, and man, I mean, it was so awesome to know that Maranatha has people making it to these heights. Do you know if they know that you made it to the team?
Honestly, I don't think they do. Yeah, I don't think they do. I haven't
We need to tell
done
them
much.
that. Okay, we need to tell them
Yeah.
that. I'm sure that they would put that on all of their marketing materials for people and stuff. But that's pretty cool. Um, Give us some idea what it's like to audition. I mean, if you're going into
Mm.
the Chargers, I mean, how many ladies are there, and how tough is it to make it to the team like you did?
Yeah, it's extremely competitive to say the least. There's about anywhere between 400 to 1,000 girls that can show up to an audition. So you're competing with so many different girls, different talents, different backgrounds, some who are even more skilled than you showing up for an audition.
Where do
So
they
it's
come from?
everywhere. They come from everywhere. They will literally travel out of state, from around the world sometimes to audition for teams. So it's extremely competitive, and it's extremely intimidating at the same time. Although it's fun, it's really intimidating.
So the first day that you go there for the audition,
Mhm.
what do they make you do?
So we're learning routines all throughout. So it's not something that we learned prior to showing up to the
They want to
audition.
know if you could learn something new.
Yeah, yeah. So you literally show up, you learn routines the entire time, and they have different rounds
Oh my
in
gosh.
which they like make cuts for people. So I want to say there's about 3 to 4 rounds of cuts, and then they have their finalists come, and their finalists can be anywhere between like 90 to maybe 70 to 90 girls that will be in as a finalist. And then after that, we go through an interview process, and that interview process is just seeing like kind of our personalities, what we like to do, and also too there are opportunities while being on the team where you might have to be a spokesperson or do some type of uh, interview on behalf of the team. So they want to just see if you're well spoken, if you can talk, if you are an easy speaker, I want to say. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And then once we do the interview, we end up doing our final audition where we basically take everything that we've learned throughout our time there and we perform it one final last time. So that's like the make it or break it moment of the whole audition. And then they finally make their decision on the team. So,
How many women make it to the team then at the conclusion of that?
yeah, so depending on the team, at least for the Los Angeles Chargers, we had 28. My first year, we
So
had
90
28.
of the finalists are there and only 28 make it.
Yes, yeah. And then my second year on the team, they were cutting down the team a little bit, so they were only allowing 24
Oh
girls.
my
So
gosh.
yeah, it made it a little more harder.
Must felt good though that you made it the second time, even after they cut it like that.
Oh yes, yeah. You never know when your spot's gonna be taken from you, so it's kind of like we have to show up even more the second time around or the third time around, just to prove that we deserve a spot on the team.
So um, each year you have to do it all over again. It's not like you have an automatic stay. You make it the first time and you're on until they tell you you're not. You've got to try out each and every year.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And how do they notify you?
So we actually find out the day of the audition or that final audition. That's when we find out who the team
How?
is. So it's like they announce it. So they bring us all together and then
They call you forward?
they call us forward.
What is it like? What are the people that don't make it? Are they crying or are you upset or?
Yeah, most girls are pretty upset. I mean, I've been in that position to where I didn't make the team before, so I was definitely heartbroken in a lot of cases.
There's a lot of work that goes into it
Yeah,
to get to the end and then not make it. Wow.
yeah,
So off season, what are you doing to keep the edge?
yeah. So off season, especially since this year we weren't able to have a team. Um, this year, I'm just kind of focusing on other goals that I have. I definitely still want to do things with dance. But now I'm just working on other little projects and little auditions, virtual auditions to say the least. And also working another job too. So just to fill up some time. And then also, I am joining a dance team. We have COVID safe practices. So that's something else that I'm doing on the side to hopefully compete.
So to be at that level, you have to have physical conditioning, I would think. I mean, you have to have an exercise program, I would think, because of all the difficult moves that come with dancing. I think the
Mhm.
dancing that you do is probably harder than what the guys are doing out in the field there. They're hitting each other, but you guys are learning something on the spot and doing that. Do what while you were, on the dance team in between
Mhm.
the 2 years, were you doing anything to keep, physically to keep up your conditioning?
Oh, yes. So while being on the team, we do have our own set of conditioning, but outside of that, like I personally would work out outside of our regular like practices or training
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah. So you probably know that, or not, you probably know, without a doubt that we usually have a end of the year Christmas gala for the firm, a
Yes.
big event, and I had the pleasure of dancing with you a couple of times, and like I said, it was like uh, riding a Mercedes Benz. Man, you're just, you're such a great dancer that you make the
Oh,
leader
thank
look so
you.
good. So you do couples dancing too, I
Yes.
think, right?
Yeah.
Where did you learn how to do that?
So I actually, it's kind of funny. I was on the dance team in college, and one of the girls I was on the dance team with, she was the president of this dance club, the social dance club. So she asked if I wanted to just show up to the club and just watch or, kind of participate. So one day I just showed up and I learned so much in that one like club meeting that I was like, I'm coming back. So ever since then, I would come back to everything, and then it led me to being on their different teams, their couples teams, and then from there, even competitions. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
do
it's been great.
salsa. And what's the variety of dances that you feel that you're good at?
Yeah, so yeah, salsa was like the first dance that I learned. So that's the one that I fell in love with initially. And then the next one that I absolutely adore it would be bachata. And that's a different style, I want to say, of salsa dancing. I mean, it's not salsa dancing, but it's still in the same like realm of like Latin dancing. Whereas you also have a partner as well, and there's different like technique that you have too. So that's something else that I have learned to do over the years as well.
Cool, cool. Okay. Well, I could go on and on about this, but we brought you in here not only to talk about that. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to talk to you about that on our podcast because I'm very proud of you. But
Thank you.
also very proud of you receiving this award. Why don't you hold it up for me? Let
Okay.
me take a look at it. Okay, Don Moon Excellence Award, and it's the 2020 award. I can't read it from this distance, but what does it say at the bottom of that paragraph?
It says, in recognition of the staff member who best exemplifies the spirit, dedication, and hard work of Don Moon.
Cool. So Don Moon was way before your time here. So let me just, in case nobody's ever told you, he was a private investigator. We formed a relationship. He was not an employee of the firm, but he might as well have been. He was here all the time. And if I picked up the phone and asked him to do something, and he was on it. And he would go way beyond what I asked for. I could go into a lot of stories, but I remember one time I was having a company picnic over in San Marino, and Don Moon rolls up, and he sauntered off onto the kickball field where we were playing a game, and he had some things to tell me about a case, and stuff. I mean, he was that dedicated. He was,
Mhm.
if I went to court, he would volunteer to bring equipment. He was just one of those guys that would give you his all. And unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But the year that he passed on, I started this award,
Mhm.
and we've created this because we want to recognize the people in the firm that have really shown, the dedication and commitment and loyalty, and just the pursuit of excellence. And you were recognized this year.
Mhm.
You do a lot for the firm. You're the filing clerk. I don't know if that's a proper name for you because I think of you so much more than that. But essentially, you're the librarian of the firm,
Mhm.
right? All of our pleadings, everything goes in, it's cataloged, and it's a one lady show right now. Plus, filling in for the receptionist, plus doing all the other administrative things that you do.
Mhm.
Um, how do you stay organized?
Yeah. So, how I normally stay organized is just staying on a routine. So, I will already set aside things that I want to work on prior um, for the next day.
That's
So,
smart.
anything that I want to work on for the following day, I already set it aside for myself. So that's like the first step. The next step is, since everything is now becoming electronic, and we're kind of steering away from so much paper, also just making sure our electronic, um, files and everything is up to par, because I feel like that's the most important. It's what we're all using nowadays. So I also make sure that that is up to date, and kind of prioritizing, what's coming up depending on like the court cases. So those are things that I'll prioritize over like other files. So yeah, I guess a routine is basically
Yeah.
how I stay really organized these
That they
days.
say the routines are the most important thing for organization and your ability to get things done.
Mhm.
When it comes to this electronic filing, now we have a system where, like you said, we're not really doing a lot of paper
Mhm.
anymore. So when attorneys and paralegals send you something, it's normally through email,
Mhm.
and then you're having to sort it out, file, make some sense of it. You probably get duplicate stuff, and you got to
Yeah.
figure out, which one it is. Is it saving you time with the electronic system rather than having to upload and do all that?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I feel like I can probably work on double the amount of files in one day, as opposed to working with just the paper file, or both the paper and electronic file. I think the paper file is more time consuming. So with the electronic filing, I can probably do twice the amount of work um, on the electronic files rather than just the
Good.
paper.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's been a pet peeve of mine for a long time that we waste so much paper. I mean,
Yeah.
in a law office like this, as you know, you could have a box or boxes of papers because we've got to keep records of our clients' files,
Mhm.
but we may not ever look in that box because some of these things are just related to one hearing that's long past, and stuff. But with the electronic file, we have it there and we can maintain it forever and stuff. So I'm glad it's working. Yeah. So my final inquiry is: you get here really early.
Yes.
Is that because your mom gets to work early, or are you just an early person?
No, I actually feel like I've trained myself to wake up at a decent time to come in early. I feel like I'm not a person that likes to be late, so naturally I'm like I have to be there before I need to be there. So yeah, I just try to naturally wake up. I guess over time, my body just wakes up early, even on weekends. So it doesn't matter how late I go to bed, I will
It's because
always
you're
wake up.
young. Wait,
I will
wait,
always wake
wait
up.
till you're older. You're gonna be having to go to bed earlier. I promise you that much. To be able to wake up that early, but I love that.
Mhm.
Usually I get in and I'm like, "Who's here?" and stuff, and you're
Mhm.
always here before me.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, congratulations again.
Thank
It's
you.
been a privilege for us to see you, grow within the firm, and I think that this is really an appropriate award for you because you've really put out, and I just want to see that on your wall.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
I'm so grateful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.